Every fantasy season, there's 1 week early on, usually between weeks 3 and 6, where everything gets flipped on its head. Teams lose that shouldn't, teams win that shouldn't, players that should produce don't, and the ones that shouldn't do. With 3 overtime games and the most controversial finish in NFL history, the commish has no problem designating week 3 as bizarre.
Guess who's back again.
This guy. 1 week after giving Kevin Kolb the what for in the recap for ignoring Larry Fitzgerald, he responds by throwing him 9 catches for 114 yards and a score. And where was he? On my bench.
Oh, you are so dumb. You are really dumb. For real.
That is why you don't bench your studs. Dallas Cowboy Curtis might have gotten the win, but also suffered a loss when CJ Spiller went out in the first quarter. At least he had the decency to score a touchdown first. And this was after picking up the Giants' D and forgetting to start them. Bizarre. Indeed. Google that headline with the word lyrics and you'll put it together. Speaking of putting it together, the cat in the box has done pretty well for not drafting a QB until the 15th round, having 2 of the highest scorers on his team. Andy Dalton, one of the highest scoring quarterbacks? It's bizarre. Anything goes. A sly move grabbing Andre Brown as he ran all over the Panthers' D to the tune of 30 points. Meanwhile, Adams' team continues to be the hospital wing it is every year, with Roy Helu going on the IR, Matt's Forte and Stafford getting injured, and Jared Cook hurting his shoulder right after he finally does what he was supposed to do. Who didn't score in this game? V-Jax, S-Jax, and D-Spro. Bizarre. Our reigning champion gets her first win of the season thanks to a disgustingly huge game from Jamal Charles, who most people benched after 2 disappointing performances in a row. Don't bench your studs, because if you do, and they have 233 yards rushing and you didn't start them, you're gonna be sick. Good thing the Chocula's left Charles in charge. Meanwhile, Super Pro continues to ride the Jay Cutler Express, which had a trip to St. Louis this week, but none to Chicago. Good thing Andrew Luck is living up to the hype. Once he comes off his bye, he'll be just as good as Jay Cutler because, let's face it, you can't get much worse.
How bizarre.
1 week after breaking the league record, the Dagobah system scores half as many points as they did the week before and still managed to win. You know who you can thank for this one? That's right. This time, Vic managed to cut the interceptions down, but still fumbled twice, and no one from Philadelphia found the end zone. Also to blame is Chris Johnson, who had 45 yards when the game ended Sunday. For the season, Laces Out isn't the only one with problems, as Gronk only managed 2 catches against the Ravens. What is going on? Bizarre. Another telltale sign of bizarre. Your quarterback gets 1 point and you're still the highest scoring team. How good were the haters this week? Judd's bench would have outscored 3 other teams and 2 of his bench didn't even play. Megatron spat Energon in the face of the Madden curse, reeling in 10 catches for 164 yards and a score in the Lions' overtime fiasco against the Titans. And he was the 2nd highest scoring receiver on that team, as AJ Green was 9 for 183 with a touchdown himself. Meanwhile, Ocho didn't stand a chance, not with the law firm fumbling for the first time in his entire career. Bizarre. The final victims of bizarre were over the Dwayne Bowe and Aaron Rodgers, who both lost their games this week. Only during bizarre can you leave the highest scoring QB on the bench, have your defense in the negative, and still win, thanks to Torrey Smith, who had a huge game Sunday night despite losing his brother just hours before. And throwing to him was Joe Flacco, who of course you're going to sit for Aaron Rodgers because he's Aaron Rodgers. Not this year he isn't, not when he gets sacked 8 times by halftime. Oh well, at least you don't have to keep beating Wells on your bench anymore. It was bizarre. I'm lucky I got any of them right.
Oh, you are so dumb.
This week, Hypnotoad over McCoy Toad. Super Pro over Cowboy Curtis, and the 90s were awesome. Special of the week. Cat GIF over Yoda JPEG. Count Chocula over Chad Johnson, and the Too Close to Call special of the week. Dwayne Bowe over Laces Out, and the haters over the Raiders. Now that that's over,